One autumn evening, a mysterious incident happened to Amanda. As usual, she was sitting late at night at her laptop. First, a dog started barking in her neighbor's apartment, very loudly. Then it started howling. Of course, this distracted her from her thoughts a little, but Amanda continued to text her friends on Messenger. Then she felt a light breeze on her neck, as if someone had walked behind her while she was alone in the room, in the dark, and a pleasant smell of perfume. Okay, it's a draft. Yes, and maybe it smells of air freshener, she thought. Not paying attention, she continued to text. But the most mysterious thing happened later. Amanda had already finished texting her friends when she heard a short ring at the door. As usual, she thought that her husband had returned home from work. The lights in all the rooms were off. Only the TV was working quietly. She went, mechanically opened the door without looking through the peephole, and decided to turn on the light in the hallway. Thinking that her husband would come in, he always did that. She was about to leave for the room when she turned around and the door quietly opened, creaking, but no one came in. Amanda looked out into the entrance from behind the door. There the light came on only if someone was coming. It was dark in the entrance and there was no one. Amanda froze in shock. She asked into the darkness, who rang the doorbell? And in response, silence. She went out onto the landing, looked down. It was dark everywhere, no one. So no one could have passed if the light did not come on anywhere. Then Amanda went back into the apartment, thinking, could it really have been a hallucination? Maybe no one rang the doorbell. What if someone was playing around? It was too late for the children. If someone had run away, the light would have worked on the floors too. She called her husband on his mobile, thinking that he was playing a prank on her. And at that time, he was just driving home. He hadn't even come close to the house yet. It's a mystery, a mystique, what it was. Then, when Amanda closed the door, her child woke up in the other room and started crying really hard. She could barely calm him down. He was screaming and afraid of something, clinging to his mother. This had never happened before. Since he couldn't talk yet, he couldn't say what had scared him. Amanda turned on the lights in the entire apartment and the TV, and then the child had calmed down a little and fell asleep in her arms. The next day, after the mysterious doorbell rang, Amanda was walking with the child in the yard. Amanda and her husband rented an apartment in a quiet provincial town where everyone knew each other. Her husband worked. Amanda sat at home with the child. Anyway, she met a neighbor, a pensioner, and started talking to her. One word led to another, and Amanda mentioned yesterday's incident. I wanted to know if the neighbor had heard any strange sounds on the stairs, because the old lady was always vigilant and kept an eye on all her neighbors. She often complained about cigarette smoke on the landing and tried to catch the intruder who smoked in the entrance. She was very surprised and said that she hadn't heard anything, especially that someone was walking near the door at night. Amanda told the old lady about the strange short ringing of the doorbell, to which the old lady told me something that gave me goosebumps. Everything immediately fell into place.
The landlady came home,
she said.
What landlady?
Amanda was surprised. An elderly man rented the apartment to them.
a deceased woman.
As if jokingly, the neighbor answered. Then she told a story that old pensioners used to live there. And one day, a robber got into their house and killed a woman. Her elderly husband could not live alone in this apartment. His adult son took him to his family, who lived in another city, and they decided to rent out the apartment with all the furnishings and personal belongings. Amanda and her husband were the first to rent it. They did not go into details when they moved here. They were satisfied with the price and the fact that the owners left all the things in the apartment: dishes, dinnerware, furniture, household appliances. When Amanda first entered this apartment, she smelled incense. And when she was cleaning, she found things and funeral accessories in the bedroom closet. They were folded in the far corner. Another thing that caught my attention was the large number of various medications. Amanda also put them in the closet in the far corner. The other half of the closet was locked with a key, but the key itself was missing. What was locked there is unknown. And in the hallway closet hung the old fur coat of the former owner and an overcoat. On the shelf stood her cosmetics. After the neighbor's story about how the owner of the apartment had been buried there a year ago, Amanda felt creepy. She looked through all the rooms of the rented apartment again. While her husband was at work, she looked under the bed where the former owner's cane lay. She looked through the closet again and found a photo with a black ribbon wrapped in a towel. She also found many photo albums. Even crosswords lay in the nightstand with a pen and glasses, half filled. She hadn't guessed them, apparently. Amanda looked at the fur coat in the closet differently after everything she had told her. It inspired terrible fear. Amanda had already put everything together. The strange doorbell, exactly at midnight, the smell of perfume, etc., and the thought that the owner had returned home did not give her any peace. And when Amanda was riding in a taxi one evening, the driver, word for word, having learned that she lived in that house and in that apartment, said that the old woman there had been killed by robbers. After all, it was a provincial town, and everyone knew everything about each other. Then Amanda did not want to be there for another minute. There really was a depressing atmosphere there. She talked to her husband, and she and the child decided to move from there to another apartment. Amanda could not forget this terrible story for a long time, which inspired a chilling fear.